It's Hendricks County Solid Waste Management District's 365 Everyday Counts, and today we're going to talk about recycling. November 15th is America Recycles Day, and it's a day to sort of think about your recycling at home, at work, wherever you go. And if you're already recycling, maybe it's a chance for you to recycle even more. There are actually some other opportunities for other things besides what we usually put in the bin. So let's talk about exactly what can be recycled in Hendricks County, because depending on where you live, the rules may be a little bit different. Indiana versus Illinois or Ohio, or maybe even across the country, things are going to be a little bit different. So we're going to start with paper, because paper takes up the most space in a landfill, and if you can only pick one thing to recycle, this is where you would probably make the most impact. So think about your junk mail, your office paper, your newspaper, your magazines. Those can all be recycled. And also at our recycling facility and some of the curbside programs, you can take cardboard. This one is called paperboard, or sometimes it's also called chipboard. Cereal boxes, cracker boxes, dog treats, those kinds of things are made from recycled paper and definitely should be recycled again. You can also recycle corrugated cardboard, so those would be like the UPS boxes that you get, or what the US Post Office uses. So go ahead and recycle these, and make sure too that everything is clean. Sometimes you get a little food on it or something. Just make sure it's cleaned off a little bit before you put it in the recycle bin. Another thing you can recycle, and there's a lot more of it to recycle than there has been in the past, is plastic. And we used to tell people to look on the bottom of the plastics for the recycling symbol with a number inside of it. And we used to tell you to look for a 1 or 2. The problem is that was sometimes unreliable to look at, and now it doesn't matter because we can recycle all plastics. So your laundry detergent bottles, your milk jug, your water bottles, and lots of other plastics too that we didn't used to be able to recycle, like yogurt containers. So those can all go in the bin. Again, make sure they're cleaned out, especially your milk jug. You don't want sour milk in your recycle bin. And the lids can actually stay on. It's not a big deal to leave those on. But again, give them a little rinse. A couple of the plastics that we cannot put in the recycling bin still are Styrofoam. Styrofoam can be recycled, just not in your curbside bin. So look at our guide to being green online at hendrickssolidwaste.com, and there are some places in Indianapolis that will accept Styrofoam. And your shopping bags. I know we have a lot of these, but as we talked about in a previous video, reusing is even better than recycling, and there are lots of uses for these. And if you're crafty, go online. There are lots of things that you can make out of these. And now, metals. We've been recycling metals for a really, really long time. It's become very efficient. Aluminum is probably the most efficient process. It only takes about 6 weeks for this to go from your bin back on the shelf as a new can again. So continue to recycle aluminum, and steel can be recycled forever. So these cans, we call them tin cans sometimes, which is also sort of correct. There's a little bit of both in here. So make sure that they're cleaned out. The lids, if you have a plastic lid like a coffee can, you can put that in the plastics, and keep your metal in the metals if you have to separate them. A lot of times you don't even have to separate them. Glass can also be recycled. We don't see as much of this as we used to because plastics have sort of taken over some of the containers that used to be in glass. So we're looking for clear, green, or brown glass, and they need to have had food or drink in them. And one of the ways that you can tell if your label falls off is that the neck of the bottle is smaller than the shoulders. So if you have a drinking glass, there's no neck, no shoulders. You cannot put that in the recycling bin, even though it's clear glass. Also, window glass, dishes, those kinds of things cannot be recycled because they melt at a different temperature. So we're not looking for a recycling symbol necessarily on the glass. We're just looking at colors and did it have food or drink in it. So those are the basic things that you can recycle. There are also other things that can be recycled, and because new recycling opportunities open up every day, you need to make sure you stay abreast of what can and can't be recycled. Check the rules for where you take your recyclables. Electronics can also be recycled now. Oil can be recycled, tires, appliances, those are all things to look for. And again, look at our guide to being green. We've got a list of where you can take all of those things. Thanks for watching.